October 1938 was the 5th month of the golden age of comic books. This ties in with Action Comics number 5 being released, the 5th appearance of Superman in this monthly title. Today we're going to analyze the rarity of the CGC census of all grades of all the comics with a cover date of October 1938 and do a comparison with the Overstreet annual price guide in low and high grade. Let's see what we learn about this month. There were 21 different comics released with a cover date of October 1938. There was one new series, Little Giant Detective Funnies number 1 was launched from Centaur Publications. $200 in low grade, and only 2 copies graded by CGC in any condition and no high grade copies. The most valuable comic by far of the month is Action Comics number 5 with the 5th appearance of Superman in low grade, worth over $3,000 and $58,000 in near mint 9.2 condition. Action Comics number 5 is also by far the most common book graded in the CGC census. This again is due to the high price tag and the profit margin of this book, as it rises in price faster than most books, therefore more likely that collectors and retailers have got all copies graded. So we see 37 copies in total graded, but only 1 high grade copy. After Action Comics, the books with the most copies graded are also DC titles. Detective Comics number 20 has 19 copies graded, and New Adventure Comics 31 has 17 copies graded. After that, More Fun Comics number 36, also from DC, has 9 copies graded. After that, it gets very scarce for all the other listings. All the other books have between 0 and 6 copies graded, and that is all conditions combined, and that even includes restored copies. That shows the true rarity of these books and how undervalued many of them are. If you look at the low-grade prices at the Overstreet price guide, you'll see that the majority of these books can still be purchased for under $100, and in fact, many of them in the $50 range, even after 80 years. High-grade copies obviously are worth more, but there's still a large number of them that are under $1,000 each in their mint, and technically you can't even obtain these books in those conditions anyway, as not a single copy has ever been graded in that condition. Books of this age simply do not exist in high grade like this. So if you're wanting to collect high grade copies, definitely be patient and stay on the hunt. What else do we learn from looking at the chart? 11 of the 21 titles actually started in 1938, showing that the boom of the comic business was definitely growing, and there were many new titles. Centaur Publications was the busiest publisher in this year, and they have a lot of titles being published this particular month. There were 21 titles this month, in fact, but this is the lowest number there had been in 3 months. 5 comics on the list have 0 copies graded by the CGC in any condition, including restored copies. This is mostly due to the fact that they're low-priced books and therefore not really profitable for retailers to get them graded, but also the rarity of these books has made it very hard for anyone to get them graded. At this point, over 450 different comics had been published in the standard modern format, which had now been around for 5 years. Jumbo Comics number 2 is the second most valuable comic of the month. Note that there is 0 copies graded by CGC, but that is due to the fact that Jumbo Comics 1 through 8 are oversized and do not fit in the CGC holders and therefore cannot be graded. Other interesting things to note: Famous Funnies number 51, the longest running comic book of the time, has the lowest price tag, only $39 for a low grade copy. And even Ace Comics number 19 is only $40 in low grade. Despite how rare these books are, the price tag is still fairly affordable. Jumbo Comics number 2 was the most valuable comic last month, and it falls to number 2 this month. Detective Comics number 20 is the 3rd most valuable comic book of the month. And those are really the 3 hefty books if you want to collect the key issues of this particular month, that's the ones to get. Mandrake the Magician was the featured guest in feature book number 18. Only one copy graded by CGC. A lot of Mandrake the Magician collectors. And this book guides at $92 in low grade. Other things that we may note from this chart, United Features had 2 different books out at the time, Comics on Parade and Tip Top Comics, both on the cheap end of the price tag, but both quite scarce as well in the CGC census. Mickey Mouse Magazine now entered Volume 4, Number 1, or Number 37, if you're counting them in order. There is the highest number of high-grade copies of any comic for this title, and that is due to there being file copies of this book surviving from Western Publishing. After that, there's only a few books that have 1 copy each in high grade. Otherwise, the majority of these books are so scarce that there simply is no copies out there to be graded.